Yeah, I only have a couple minutes before the babies wake up. I'm gonna have to feed them. So I just want to show you a couple really quick things. So this, what we're seeing now, everything is selling off a little bit, which is great. It's exactly what we want. We need a correction. We need a healthy correction after a strong, stable run. We've had consistent sideways or upwards movement on all alts as well as the majors like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been moving up or sideways each time before we've had a correction. I think Bitcoin's probably going to drop down a bit further, really test the lower lows. This is the Binance chart, but I think it might go down another couple $100 and test the bottom on the Bitfinex chart and the dollar pairing. But we're pretty much right on the bottom on this Binance chart. But more importantly, I want to see what plays out with some of these alts. So just to indicate, like here, it dropped to 34, and then where was it? Which chart was it that was down to 32? I don't remember. But anyway, the alts more importantly. So taking a look at like BNB, for instance. It was a really great trade. I'm still actually in it. Only half of my position sold off at 16.5% profit. I'm still holding 60% of my position open at 12.4% profit. If it bounces up from here, that'll just be a perfect example of how excellently I placed my stop losses because I got really close without getting stopped out. But it's holding right now. We'll see what happens. I think it'll probably dip down a bit further and correct more. What we're ended up seeing here is this is a perfect LA wave count. I ended up having this, well, the sub count was a little off, but I'm not really worried too much about timing when I do LA wave counts. I've explained before, LA wave is a great tool, but it doesn't predict what's going to happen. It's a visual representation of what we already know, what our analysis is already telling us. We're utilizing tools like Fibonacci or support and resistance and Ichimoku, Bollinger Bands, all these different indicators to try to tell you when you see a potential reversal or try to indicate trends. But what that's all telling you is that information is giving you an idea of where you're going to see potential reversals, stability in the market, or where you're going to see instability and corrections, and when you're going to see uptrends and downtrends. So this is just a visual representation of that exact data. This wave one that I had, this was a perfect call. It wasn't. I didn't have that wave one because Elliott Wave says that wave one should go up to $7. Elliott Wave was just a visual representation of what my model was telling me. My model was telling me that the target for this run up was going to be about just over $7, and sure enough, it was pretty damn precise. My target for 22% run on this trade ended up being an extra 0.5% above that, 1% more. So that was pretty damn on point, and that was from the 16th, so 12 days ago. 12 days ago. I pretty much identified the exact top of this run, and now we're getting the correction. So don't worry about the timing. Yes, my wave is drawn on the chart over here. Doesn't really mean anything. It very easily could have been drawn this way, but my targets are still the same. My target for this correction, it's not as concrete. I think going down to a little bit more of a shallow retracement to about 630 might be more likely. I probably expect to get stopped out any second with the other half of my position, 60% that I have left at 12.4% profit. We're hugging that line right now. If we break this resistance, then I would expect to get some support at 630. I don't have it marked on here, but that's another good support right around there. You can see a lot of past support here. A lot of resistance over here. And again, right over here besides the spike up. That was a great resistance level. So I think this will probably be a good target for the end of this wave 2 correction. But when you're seeing this sort of healthy retracement, you're seeing a correction across the market like this, it's a good thing. It means we've had a great couple weeks. We've been doing really well over the last week or two. We've made a lot of money on a lot of trades. Now we need to come back down. We need our indicators to reset. RSI has been riding high for a while. We've been moving up on BNB because it's been such a great trade, but look at the RSI. It's been hugging the top boundaries, pretty much getting borderline oversold, or overbought rather. So we had to come back down, and that's exactly what we want. We want to see our indicators reset. You're going to see the same thing on the daily stoch and the 4-hour stochastic on this trade, as well as other indicators that are showing you that we were pretty much coming up to that time where we had to retrace and we had to correct a bit. So this is what we want to see. It's very healthy. We're going to keep coming down. I'd say another 6 or 7 hourly candles before we find some stability on some of the alts, not even on all of them. So I don't expect to make any trades overnight. I'm going to wait and see where we bottom out on a lot of these things, and then we'll decide when to get in for that next run, because we are going to have another nice run up. I don't think it's going to give us 20, 30, 40% gains like this last sequence has. It might be 10, 15, 18% on some of those runs, but there's going to be a lot of really great swing trades to make once we bottom out and start to move up again. So keep an eye out on that. TRX, that trade's dead, just completed. My 45% of my position at 9.5% profit sold off when we crossed my stop loss up here. My other stop loss down at 27.40 was 55% of my position, and that sold off at 3% profit. I would have liked to take 9.5% profit on the whole thing, but again, I wasn't sure when we were going to we were going to correct. We had a lot of support up here, so I didn't want to get too aggressive. I played it conservatively, and I'm happy with how it worked out. You can't really complain about 3% profit, let alone when you're getting 9.5% profit on half of your position. So that worked out really well. I'm going to keep an eye on these specifically because I have a lot of chart work invested in them already, so I'll probably want to go back and look at BNB and TRX a lot for the next move. And then some of the other alts will take a look. I got 1.8% risk on an ETC trade, so I took a tiny loss there. But again, I've explained my strategy before. 1.8% risk on this trade. I lost $18 on a $1,000 trade. Doesn't matter when I make 20, 30, 40% on some of these other trades. I made 15% on TRX, or 10% on TRX and 15% on BNB, so can't complain about those. Some of the alts I really like, we'll get into once we bottom out. IOTA, I haven't seen an interest for a little while. I haven't seen a potential reversal in a little while. It's getting so low now at this point. We're going to find a floor really soon, so IOTA is one of the ones I'm going to keep an eye on. I'm going to come up with a chart if we do start to break back up, and I'll give you guys an idea of when I'm thinking about an entry. XRP is another one that I liked for a potential play, but not yet. I mean, I'm waiting for it to bottom out, and then we'll see. So I'm looking for the ones that are really low, RSI, that are in the bottom depths of oversold territory. So I want to see an RSI that's sub 15, sometimes 10 or lower. Those have the potential to have a really strong rebound, so that's something to keep an eye on as well. You're obviously not going to want to only focus on RSI. You want to look at other oscillators. You want to take a look at past trading activity and see if you have a similar floor, any support and resistance from past trading periods that are around that same area. You're going to have to go back pretty far to find Ripple at 29 cents, pretty much a year and a half ago, but that data is there, so you can go back and look at it. You'll probably have to look at a 4-hour or daily chart to visualize that. Actually, in this case, XRP, this is a USDT pairing, so we didn't even have that a year ago. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, we were back down there. Never mind. Okay, talking out of my ass. That was, in September. I thought it was more recent that they added the XRP tether pairing. All right, on Binance. That's good. That means we have data at our disposal. So I'm going to want to take a look at the bottom there. This is way too low. It's not going to get down that far. We'd have to see BTC drop into the mid-2s, high 2s for Ripple to get back down to below 25 cents to break down below this level. It might get down to that region, but it's not going to go much lower than that, if at all. This could be a potential great target, this 2,800 level right here on the USDT pair. That might be something to keep an eye on for an entry on Ripple. So yeah, Mark, I'm going to place an alert there so I get a heads up if we start to get into that range. But that's the sort of stuff you want to look for. If you guys find any really good trade setups, let me know, because we're getting down pretty low on some of these. If we get down 10% down on some of these more aggressive alts where we have these 10, 15, 20% runs pretty frequently, those are the ones you want to look for, because after a big correction like that, you're going to see a lot of rebound buying because people are going to suddenly want to inject money into those coins given how low the prices are. Forget about what the technicals are telling you. Base it purely on psychology. If everybody you know is asking what to get into, what's a great buy right now, and you tell them this coin is 27% below its average trading level over the last 6 months, they're going to want to jump into it whether or not it's a good idea. And that'll usually drive it. Then you'll have a FOMO effect, and you'll see it to continue to move up, and then the TA sort of comes together and just matches up. I always talk about how TA and FA just come together. You can look at the fundamentals and decide that something's a good buy, even if the TA doesn't tell you it is. Meanwhile, 3 days later, you're looking at the TA and it's screaming at you that it's a good buy, but you had a head start because you are looking at indicators that predate that data. Because all TA can do is tell you based on past activity and past data sets what the potential is for the future. If you can use other ideas like fundamentals and market psychology to try to develop a model to predict that activity before it happens, you'll have a head start on the guys who are just using TA. That's why it's important to diversify your data sets and use more than just one particular school of thought when you're trying to predict what's going to happen in the market. Let me know if you find any other good trades that look like they have a good prospect, and I'll check them out. Otherwise, stay out of things for now. Don't get overzealous and jump in. Wait till we flatten out. Wait till we bottom out. Wait till we start to see some activity that indicates a potential reversal, and then we can look at some potential entries. Be safe in the meantime.